Hello everyone, STL Puckhead, Bill here, back with another video. Today I'm going to go over an SGC submission that I got back last week that I'm going to call the win, lose, and draw return. So Chris from Missouri and I sent about 20 cards in. Most of them were Chris's. 3 of them were mine. 2 of them were our 1960 cards that I broke out of BVG cases. And then I sent in a 1986 Donruss Frederick McGriff that I got out of a box that I opened up on Christmas. I had filmed a part 1 of this video, but I didn't care for it, and it was 19 minutes long, so I decided I wasn't going to do the first part showing me break out the cards from the BVG holders and all that stuff. So I have the tags from the flips with them that I'll show you when I show you what they came back graded as. One was a win, one was a loss, and one was a draw. So I'll talk about that. So the dates on this return, I mailed them off on the 10th of February. SGC got them on the 14th of February. SGC graded them on the 17th. They printed the shipping label, so it was showing shipped on the 17th, but they actually went out probably a day or two after that. I received them on the 28th. So that is probably later than it should have been. The post office, for some reason, when they sent those cards out from Boca, the post office sent this package to Arizona. So it kind of went on a long adventure cross-country trip from Florida to Arizona back to Missouri. So then once they got into town, they delivered them on a Monday. My wife and the whole family, everybody was at school, so we weren't able to pick them up on whatever day before the 27th because it required a signature. So I had to actually go on my lunch break the next day on the 28th and pick them up at the post office here. So a little bit of a delay that way, but overall roughly 18 days. They were in SGC's hands for a total of probably 4 or 5 days. So can't really complain about that. The grades I got back I think were fair. So I will quit flapping my gums and I'll get everything spun around and I'll show you the cards. All right, so I'm back with you for the second half of the video. So again, we sent about 20 cards in. I'm gonna let Chris talk about his cards. He already has those back. I'm gonna talk about the 3 that I got back from SGC. So since I'm calling this win, lose, and draw, I will kind of go in reverse order of that. So the draw, I'm gonna call this the draw. So this Cincinnati Clouders card with Frank Robinson was a BVG 5.5. I cracked this out of its slab and it came back as a 5. That works for me. I've got no complaints about that. Those are the grades I'm looking for in my set. So I'm pretty happy with that. But grade wise, I'll call it a draw. So here's the big loss. I was upset about this when I got this card back, but then upon closer inspection, I think SGC actually gave it the right grade and BVG probably hadn't in the past. Now, I've also sent out a Warren Spawn that I cracked out of a BVG 6 slab and it came back as an SGC 6. So the Warren Spawn and then this one, the grades were pretty close. So really this Al Kaline is the only one I can complain about. But what I noticed after I got it back from SGC with a lower grade is, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a hairline crease right here by his hat. And I looked at some pictures that I had taken of the cards and all that stuff. And so I believe that crease was there. So it's not anything where SGC misgraded it or I damaged it cracking it out of the BVG slab, but it came back a 3.5. So that is definitely a loss. So all these cards, when I finish this 60 set that are graded probably below a 5 or a 6, like this one and the Mutual and the Maze that I have out of this set, possibly Robin Roberts, I may look to upgrade those at some point. And then here's the Win. This is kind of a different card than the first two that I showed you, but again, it's an 89 or an 86 Donruss Fred McGriff. Sorry about the glare, but I busted this out of a box that I bought at an antique store, and it came back as a 9. I thought it had an outside chance as a 10, but I figured it for a 9, 9.5. So I'm pretty happy with this. So I'll call this one a win. And I have another one that I'm going to send in, probably with this month's allowance. I can't decide if I'm going to send in some cards to SGC to get graded, or if I'm going to buy more cards for the 60 top set. I haven't decided on that, because I have a whole bunch of cards I want to send in to get graded. But when you have a budget like I do, you can't really do everything that you want to do every month with your money. But anyway, those are the 3 cards that I got back from SGC. So I'll show you the cards that I'm thinking about sending in this month. You can let me know in the comments if I should send these cards in, or if I should buy some more cards for the 60 set. So this Canseco came out of the same box. I have it pre-graded as an 8.5 or a 9. I'm hoping for a 9 on it. It's got pretty good centering. There's just a little bit of chipping around the edges. So let me know what you think about that one. Then I've got another Fred McGriff here. This one I think I have pre-graded as an 8.5 or a 9. And I think other than the centering, it's actually in better condition than the one I just got back from SGC. And the reason why I want to send these in is because even in a 9 or an 8 even, they're worth above, $20 grading fee. So here's an OPC Premier Wayne Gretzky. I bought a set a long time ago in that shop in Colorado Springs, so I'm thinking about sending this in. I have this pre-graded as a 10. That doesn't mean it's going to grade a 10. That just means that when I looped it and I looked at the card, I couldn't find anything wrong with it in my mind that would ding it in the grade. 2011 Cognac, Albert Pujols. I really love these insert cards, or these parallels from the 2011 top set. I don't have a lot of them, but when Albert Pujols was closing in on 700 last year, I picked a few of these up and got them pretty cheap. So this one, again, I couldn't find anything wrong with it. I pre-graded it as a 10. Really, I'd be happy with a 9.5. Same way with the regular anniversary. This I think is an even better looking card than the Cognac. But again, I couldn't find anything wrong with it with a loop, so I pre-graded this as a 10. Here's an 89 Bowman Nolan Ryan. So I'm in a 10. This would probably be, I don't know, $150 card or so. So with the loop, I pre-graded as a 9.5 or a 10. But if it comes back as a 9 or above, I'll keep this for my collection. So I just think it's a great looking card. And then here I have a run of a few Ken Griffey Jr. cards. I have his 1990 Leaf. This is a clean card. I pre-graded it again as a 9.5 or a 10. I'd really be happy with a 9 or above, and I would keep this in my collection. So here's the Desert Storm card. Not a whole lot of value to it, even in a 10. It's worth about $100 or so. But I think it's a really cool card, being someone that's retired to the military or from the military. And I was 15, 16 years old when Desert Storm was going on, so this card has a lot of nostalgia to me. I remember watching the war on CNN, in the night vision with Iraqi air defense rockets and missiles going up in the air trying to shoot down stealth bombers, or fighters. And I just think this is a cool card. So even if this grades as a 9 or above, I'll keep it in my collection. Here's a 2020 Topps Max Scherzer short print with a World Series trophy. I don't know how much value this has even in a 10. I think Max Scherzer's a Hall of Famer. He's a Missouri guy. I would love him to pitch for the Cardinals before he retires. So I figured I would go ahead and send this in and keep it in my PC. And then here is a CC Sabathia rookie. I bought this off of eBay for several years, or a few years ago. I think, again, he's a Hall of Famer. I pre-graded this as a 9.5 or a 10. Really, I'd be happy with a 9 or above, and I would keep this in my PC. So those are 10 cards. You figure at 20 bucks a card at SGC, that would be my allowance for the month. I could either send those in and get them graded, or I could buy something like a Sandy Koufax for the 60 top set, or maybe even like an Ernie Banks and a Maris, something along those lines. So just let me know what you think. Right now I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and send those in, because I've got probably 100-150 cards I want to send to SGC. I would like to see them drop their prices to, you know, even the $10 to $15 range in bulk, but we'll see how that goes. So if you stuck around for this video, I appreciate it. I'm closing in on about 10 minutes total time now. So until the next one, I appreciate you all. Thanks for your likes and subscribing and supporting the channel. I hope everybody has a good one, and I'll see you on the next video.